Okay, so we build this few components last day.
Yeah.
Okay, so we build the components, and that is here. So these are the components which we build. We build the login, we build the create, we build the, let's see, we build the create. Let's check create. Yeah, we build the create part, and edit part will be similar to this create one.
Hmm.
So we will be go on putting more components when the time comes, because right now, let the time comes, we will be building more
Yeah.
each of the component kind of thing.
Hmm.
Now we will start with the functionality kind of thing. So the first
Which is
functionality
Redux.
we
Yeah.
need, yeah, Redux is still, yeah, it's there, but we will be building some other things before we go to the Redux.
Hmm.
So first thing is we need to log in the user to our website. We need to
Yeah.
build the
Firebase.
login part, Firebase login kind of thing.
Yeah.
So let's do that one.
Hmm.
Let me go to Firebase and see. Okay, so this is my Firebase one. Okay, I will go to the console. So I need to do some configuration in the
Mm-hmm.
here, and then we will go with it. So by the time this one is going,
Hmm. Hmm.
remember if I install Firebase on that day,
Yeah.
let's install.
npm install. Hmm.
Yeah, let's see if I have installed it or not. We can check it in the package or JSON.
I think you did it because I was revising your. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Fire. Put the Firebase, so no need to put it again.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the Firebase installed. Let's take the configuration from this website.
Hmm.
Which one I should take? Let's see. This is 2017. This one. Okay, let's go this one.
How do you choose which one to take?
I can take any. I can take
Any, right?
whatever
Or
I
you
want.
can create a new project as well.
Right. This one I already used it in,
Hmm.
so I was just taking that same thing. I will go to the authentication and I'll go to the sign in method.
Hmm.
So in
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
sign in method, right now let's enable only the Google one,
Yeah.
and I will say enable, and this is not needed. This is optional. I'll just save it.
Hmm.
We'll do only Google for now, and we'll add other things.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's one second. Let me create this overview. Let's go to the overview. Let's click this setting, project settings. Okay, so this is the configuration which we need for our Firebase
Hmm.
kind of thing. So I will take this configuration and I will put it in my one of the files.
Hmm.
So, and I can use that file uh, for the Firebase. Okay, so
Hmm.
let me see where I put in the Firebase. Okay, let's create the Firebase. Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me
No
see.
problem.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So what I will do, I will in the source folder, I will create one file where I will be putting settings of the Firebase. So here I will name it as the my firebase.js.
Mm-hmm.
Any name, but this is something I put my Firebase. I can put,
Mm.
but I will not put the firebase.js because Firebase is something we install it and we want to take as a library. So
Mm.
we will put it as yeah, 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I will be putting uh, uh, I will not name it as firebase.js, but I will put some different name, but any name you can choose. So here
Okay.
I have to import star as Firebase from Firebase. So this is the library which we install Firebase and importing all the things from that library as a Firebase. So
Mm.
I said Firebase this. We will use this Firebase in our application now in few minutes.
Mm.
And now here I will put the configuration. So I will say constant config is equal to, and I will go here and I'll take this one. I'll take this part and put it here. So this
Mm.
is my configuration which I got
Mm.
from the Firebase.
Mm.
And now I will export this configuration so that I can use it in my other applications. So I will say
Right. Default. Mm.
constant. Okay, I am not exporting right now this configuration. Configuration is not used outside this file. It is used here only. I will be
Mm.
using this configuration and I will be exporting that variable. So I
Mm.
will create one variable called as constant Firebase app
Mm.
equal to Firebase dot. This is the Firebase which I am
Mm.
using here. Dot. They have one method that is called initialize
Mm.
app, and I pass this config.
Mm.
I'm passing it here, and I am exporting this Firebase app, which I will be using it in other files.
Mm.
I will also export constant Firebase database equal to Firebase dot database.
Mm.
So in other application, I will be able to use Firebase app
Mm.
and Firebase database, and this is
Right.
configuration file which I created it.
Mm.
Okay, so my
Yeah.
configuration is done now. Now I will
Mm.
try to use this configuration in other files.
Okay.
So this is done. Okay, let me double check. Okay, I have configuration. I'm using this configuration, and then I have Firebase app, which I will be using it, and then I have Firebase database, which I will be using it.
Mm.
Okay, so this part is done. Let's go to the index.js now, and
Mm.
in index.js, I will I will call import Firebase app, Firebase database, Firebase database from my firebase.js.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now we can use this Firebase app and Firebase database wherever I want it, whenever
Mm.
I want it in the page, in this current page right now. I
Right.
can,
Use it.
yeah,
So you always imported an index.js, is it?
I always import this here wherever it is required. I will import it. So tomorrow
Okay.
it may be required in some other internal page, then I will be using that page also. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I can do inside my any internal page there also I will call it. So here I will be using it. So that's why I'm calling it. So tomorrow, if I'm not using Firebase database, I will be not using it here. Some things
Mm-hmm.
I want to put it in the index.js, so that's the reason I'm putting it here. And
Mm-hmm.
some we don't need it, then I will not put it inside here.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, let's build something here with Firebase app, and then we will move it to appropriate place whenever the time comes, the right time comes. So we will be building something using this Firebase app right now,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, uh, we will use it, and anywhere in the internal. Whenever we move it to external page, we will use it there also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So before
Okay.
going to this, let's see what I can do. So just going to go create one.
Mm.
I'm actually planning how I will move kind of thing. Where should I
Right.
think, because it's not build kind of thing. I'm just building this now, so I'm just thinking what is the best way to
Mm.
and put Firebase app and where should we use it.
Okay.
So let me go and okay. Uh, so when I click this Google, I should
Mm.
call this Firebase app.
Yeah.
Let's put let's this inside this login also,
Mm.
because I am going to use it here
Mm.
kind of thing, and I will create a function. Maybe I can say Google authentication. I will do console.log.
Mm.
So let me do console.log. So when I click the Google one,
Mm.
I will say on click
And click here.
this dot Google auth dot bind.
Bind. Mm. This.
Okay, let's try this and see how we are going to. Okay, there's some problem. Actually, this is should be true dot dot because it's one level up.
Mm.
Let's go to the login. Okay, so I'm able to do to Google authentication.
Mm.
I'm able to reach to Google authentication.
Mm. So when I click on Google. Mm.
Right. So when I click Google authentication, I am able to go to the Google authentication. Let's try to do now. Put some Firebase code inside this Google authentication.
Okay.
This Firebase app is a variable we can use anywhere in this application.
Right.
Let's try to use this one. So I will say Firebase app dot auth. This is the functionality which is given by the Firebase people. Let's see. I will show you the documentation, and
Mm.
let's go to documentation. Let's go to the web. It started for web,
Mm.
and so we initialize. It's done, and then we can use, let's see, authentication, Google sign in.
Mm.
So we have to give the provider. Provider will be the auth dot this is the provider. So let's take this provider
Mm-hmm.
and I will put this provider here. Provider equal to, here in our case it will be Firebase app.
Mm.
In their case it is Firebase because
Okay. Oh yeah, that's their variable. Yeah.
yeah, so in our case it will be Firebase app. Everything will be based on the Firebase app.
Mm.
Okay, so we are creating new Firebase. This may be only Firebase because we are calling new Firebase
Mm.
dot auth dot. Let's see what is provider coming. Whether we need to use Firebase or I can use. Okay, Firebase is not defined. So I'm not able to use the new Firebase here. So let's try to use Firebase app. And
Mm.
okay, we got the error. Not work. Let's pass E and I will say so E dot prevent default,
Mm.
and I'm not able to use the Firebase directly. Hmm.
Google.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I need to import their Firebase also, and then I can use the new Firebase because I need the provider, and that's the reason I want their functionality to be imported.
Mm.
So actually, you don't have to. We don't have to remember everything, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
there is the documentation. We are just here to use that documentation, and we have to bring it here.
Okay.
Generally, we use Firebase. We have all this Firebase functionality from their script, and I can use it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
here, since we are integrating in the React kind of thing,
Yeah.
so we need to see if this Firebase app has that functionality. If does not have, I call the main Firebase from the Firebase module which I installed it.
Okay.
And
And
that's
it'll
the
be same for all the other applications we are using, right? Okay.
right. So to it here, it will be common for all this authentication everywhere.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, let's do now our first line of the code for here. So then I need to call this. I need to call this one. Where is that Google one? Sign in with pop-up provider. Okay, we have to call this sign in with pop-up. So
Mm.
now I don't need this Firebase app. I can use. I don't need Firebase. I can use the Firebase app, which I have this one,
Mm-hmm.
and I can use Firebase app
Mm.
here with authentication.
Mm.
You can say Firebase app dot auth dot whatever is mentioned in the help file,
Right.
auth dot sign in with pop-up, and this we will say.
Okay.
So it will take the Firebase app, it will authenticate it with sign in with the pop-up with the
Hmm.
provider, that is the Google one, because we are passing provider, Google author provider, and
Right.
the results. As
Okay.
we have to use this result, whichever is
Hmm.
coming.
Hmm.
And then I will say enter, uh, enter. I will close this curly here, and then I will close this here.
Hmm.
Okay, let's see now. Console.log result is result.
Hmm.
I will click. Let's click the Google.
That's it. Okay. It should take us to Google.
So this pop-up will come.
Okay. Why did it pop up? Why not open a new page?
Yeah, this is how they have built it, because we are calling Firebase API,
Hmm.
and it's taking.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
So we are using the Firebase one, and the result is here now after it comes.
Yeah. Console.log. Yeah. Hmm.
I will go to the user, and I can see
Your
uh,
Gmail ID. Yeah.
yeah, my Gmail. So main thing, I need to go to provider data. Inside provider data, zero number, and I see my display name.
Hmm.
Email is coming null from that.
Manish, just a sec. Just a sec. I think I'm getting call from my home. Just a sec.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was trying to add one context parameter. Let's see now. I was trying to use this one to add this one.
Okay.
Okay. I removed it because we don't need this one actually. We need auto
Okay.
login only, so we don't need.
Hmm.
Let me refresh it, kind of thing. Again, let's do one more time to see what data we are getting it.
Hmm.
Okay, I got this data.
Hmm.
And here I'm getting my email.
Hmm.
I'm getting the I'm getting the UID. This UID is the Firebase UID,
Right.
and this is refresh token. If I need to interact, create an API,
Hmm.
then we need this refresh token. Right now we don't need it because we are not building any API. We're using Firebase only.
Hmm.
And if I see inside this provider data, I'm getting this UID. This UID is nothing but the Google's ID, which Google is providing it.
Okay.
And this is my photo URL kind of thing.
Okay.
So uh, let's take this all value and let's isolate these values and create an object so we know what is coming.
Information. Hmm.
Yeah, what information is coming. So we will try to isolate. I will create a variable called as var object is equal to
Hmm.
empty object, and then I'll say object dot name is equal to, I want to go to result dot
Yeah.
user dot hello
Yeah.
result dot user dot
Name is where? Display name.
display name. So I'll say
Hmm.
user dot display name. Obj dot email is equal to result
Result dot
dot,
user dot email.
and then we have photo URL. So obj dot image is equal to
Hmm.
result dot user dot photo URL.
Hmm.
If we need, we can also have refresh token. So I can say obj refresh token is equal to result dot user dot refresh token.
Sorry, when do we use refresh token?
If we build the API in PHP,
Okay. Okay.
then we need to verify that user is proper or not. So you can use
Okay.
now. If you're not using API, we can comment it right now.
Okay.
Okay, so let's put the UID. So I will say obj dot UID is equal to result dot user dot UID.
Hmm.
I'll do console dot log of obj is obj, and then I will also take one more obj dot provider ID UID. Right now I'll see where exactly the provider UID. Let's check it.
Hmm.
Okay, let's take it. Where is the, so we have the provider data inside provider 0, and inside that we have the UID. So
Hmm.
I will say result dot user dot provider
Provider
data
data. Hmm.
0 dot UID.
Hmm.
So this is my final object. Now
Hmm.
once we authenticate with the Google, we have
Hmm.
we next time when we refresh the page,
Hmm.
Firebase automatically saves everything in the session, in their session, Firebase
Okay.
session, and I don't have to go and log in again and again. So
Huh. Okay.
to make it work, I will write some code here,
Hmm.
and I will try to use that functionality of the Firebase, and that functionality is called Firebase app dot auth dot. So if we go to documentation,
Hmm.
let's see what documentation is saying. Not this one. Facebook log. And, okay, let's take one by one.
Hmm.
Okay, on auth state changed. It's on auth state change.
Hmm.
So it's auth dot on auth state change.
Hmm.
And here I will say I will pass a arrow function.
Hmm.
An arrow function will take one parameter called as user. I will check what is coming in the user.
Okay.
So I logged in with Google, so I
Hmm.
don't need to log in again.
Right.
If I refresh the page, I will get user information here
Hmm.
where I'm getting photo URL, refresh token, UID, email, and display name. Everything is coming in this user.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
So here I can say if user is there, that
Hmm.
means I'm logged in. Else, that means I can see console.log user is not logged in.
Logged out. Huh.
And here in the once the user is logged in, I
Hmm.
can I can I can call this. I can create this variable object,
Hmm.
and I will put this object here. Let's remove the. Let's use the refresh token also.
Hmm.
Tomorrow, if we build API, we can use this.
Use it. Hmm. So everything that we are doing in Firebase here, it will remain same for every application wherever we use Google Firebase, right? All of these steps
Right,
remain same.
right,
Okay,
right.
okay. Yeah.
I'm thinking. Okay. So when I reload, I'm able to let's see what is coming this object, and we will do that.
Hmm.
Okay, we don't have result here. We have user only.
Hmm.
Maybe we can change it to result. So we can have the same naming convention here.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Okay, let's refresh. Okay, I got error. The name is not there. So let's see what is there.
Display name was there. Yeah.
We have directly, not inside the user. So
Oh.
okay, so user is fine. We can remove
Result.
the user. We
Hmm.
will remove the result.
Hmm.
But here we don't have the result. We have directly user.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Let me see if I'm getting any error on. Okay, now I have object with image name provider UID refresh token UID.
Hmm.
So this is going good kind of thing.
Hmm.
It's going correctly whatever I expect it's going kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now we will move to another part because we are getting the information of the user. So that
Yeah.
means create something. We have the information who is creating the plot. So
Right.
we have that information.
Hmm.
Now we will, you know, let's say this is something we are getting on the page load, but this is single page application.
Hmm.
This is single page application. We may not refresh the page every time, right? So we
Right.
about page contact page, and at that time about page contact page will not have this variable information. So
Yeah.
we need this variable information on all the pages. But
Hmm.
whenever the page loads, we have this information. But we should
Hmm.
put it somewhere so that whenever I go from one page to another page, I should be able to access any of this information.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So what now we we created my firebase.js where we put some configuration and we create these two variables.
Hmm.
So then I go to login, I put these two lines of the code, I put the Google authentication,
Hmm.
and on the clicking of the Google, I call this Google authentication.
Hmm.
And when in the index.js, I put some code from the Firebase. So whenever the page loads, it goes to the Firebase and check if user is logged in or not. If user is logged in, we get the information of the user.
Right.
Now we have to save this information in the Redux state because we will be going from one page to another, and at that time we should have that information on all the pages where we are be accessing, where we are going it.
So once the user is logged in,
Yeah.
why do we need to get the information? Once it's logged in, it's authenticated, and then user can do stuff. Like, why do we need to get all these stuff? Like, why are we getting all these information, name, email? Like, once he's in, oh, because we're using the, like,
No,
are we using it in forms inside or what?
no, generally when we log in on the server side,
Hmm.
we put it in some session, right?
Right.
On the server side, session is there. Right now, this
Right.
is purely JavaScript. So
Right.
whenever the page will load, Firebase will authenticate that user is logged in or not
Right.
using this method. And if
Hmm.
user is logged in, we get the information of the user. And if user is not logged in, we will not get the information of user.
Hmm. Okay.
So whenever the page loads, Firebase has to go and check if user is logged in or not.
Okay.
And same thing we do in the server side. We have in the
Okay.
cookie or session, whenever user refresh the page, it checks whether user is logged in or not. Same thing we're
Hmm.
doing on the JavaScript side using this on or page change.
Okay.
But when we move from one page to another, we won't have this variable because this is only page load. And we cannot use this variable on all the components. Those
Hmm.
components, and these are two different separate items. So we
Hmm.
should be having something to save it in the state of the
Right.
Redux so that I can use it anywhere in my application. So
Right.
we will be creating that state now so
Mm-hmm.
that we can use it anywhere in our application.
Hmm.
For that, I will first create the constant. This my constant is only the mean the start. I will be creating now meaningful name.
Yeah. 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 That was just boilerplate. Yeah.
Yeah. So save is as I will save this as user constant.js.
Hmm.
Here I will say
User constant.
constant. And first example I will say signed in. So
Hmm.
whenever the signed in, I will
Hmm.
one of the variable,
Hmm.
and second will be signed
Out.
signed out. Whenever user is signed out, we will call this action
Hmm.
or name we need
Hmm.
signed out, and this will be the user constant. This is my one of the file user constant.
Hmm.
Let's create the action now.
Action. Yeah. So this is Redux, right now?
Yeah, Redux.
Yeah.
So whenever we want to save something in the state which we can use everywhere, we need to put it in Redux. So in the
Okay.
user action, we will call it as user constant,
Hmm.
and we don't need this right now. So
Hmm.
first constant will be, maybe I can say login user, and
Right.
here I will get uh, this is my action. So I need the object. So I will get the object here.
Hmm.
Okay. And then I will use here, let's open the user constant. I'll say user constant dot signed in. So type a
Okay.
user constant dot signed in payload. I will say it's object, whatever object we are getting it, passing as a payload.
Okay.
Let's create another one, logout user, which I will not do it today, but I will create. Because
Mm-hmm.
since this page, I will create logout also.
Right.
Logout. don't need anything because we need to just empty that variable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just
It doesn't contain any information. Yeah.
so this is two things I create in the user action. Now let's go and create the reducers.
Yeah. Hmm.
So these three things are compulsory. Create action, you create
Constants.
constant,
Yeah.
yeah, constant, and then reducer. We have to create the reducer.
Hmm.
Save as user reducer.js. So user reducer and constant I will be calling from constant.
Hmm.
So initial state I will say data is null.
Initial state is what here in our case, like when user
As
is not even logged out or logged in.
when he is logged out, its data is null, or when he is not logged in, data is null.
Got it. Hmm.
Okay, and here let's take the first case of signed in.
Hmm.
So state will be state, and then I will say data equal to payload action dot payload, which will be nothing but this object which is coming. So data will be the object which is coming from here.
Data will
So
be the object. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
one which you saw in the bottom object will go as a
Hmm.
payload, and this
Right.
payload
Right.
be assigned to this data.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
data will be nothing but the object which we are
Object.
getting it.
Right. Hmm.
Same thing I will do for user signed out. User signed out, I'll make this data null.
Hmm. Yeah.
This is signed out. Let's change this to user reducer. So we have the user constant, we have the user action, we have the user reducer
Hmm.
or application. Now we have to once the once we go into the JS, whenever we see that user is logged in, we have to call this dispatch this action. This
Yeah.
action. Once
Right.
this action is dispatched, it will automatically call reducer, and reducer will update the state, and we will have the variable in the state.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Okay, so now our job is to call this action from here. So to call the action from here, generally we in the Redux we go and we call, we created the two function maps props
Map
to
to dispatch. Yeah.
map prop to dispatch and map props to state
I
kind
was
of.
about to ask you this. When do we do that? Yeah.
Yeah, that we can do only in the component. Here we cannot do that. Here we can
Yeah.
directly use the store.dispatch. So there is a store.dispatch which does the same thing.
Oh, it does the same thing as those two functions?
Not two functions, but dispatch part is the
Okay,
same.
okay. Okay, okay.
If we go to the Redux, there is a dispatch of action, and that dispatch is actually coming from the store, so we can directly call store.dispatch.
Got it.
Okay, so dispatch, I will say, I have to say this, so I have to call here the action also, the action which we created.
Hmm.
So let's call this action user login. Okay, so I will say import user login, and I will also call login user and logout user
Hmm.
from slash actions slash user action.js.
Hmm.
Both function I can use right now. I'm
Yeah.
using in
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So use login user and I will pass the object.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
This will take the object and it will go here and it will go to payload. It will go to the reducer
Hmm.
and it will go here and update the state.
State. Hmm.
So we did not put user reducer in the store.js. So we need to
Hmm. Import. Hmm.
let's let's remove this my reducer and use only this.
Replace it. Yeah.
We have attached the reducer also to the store. Let's check
Yeah.
what's happening. So let me go to the main page.
Hmm.
This will happen on all the page whenever we load the page.
Right.
So it's saying user, this is coming from the Firebase. Then we have the object, and then all the user reducer. Initially the data is null.
Hmm.
We pass the action. In the action there is a type is signed in, and we have the payload of this information.
Hmm.
And in the next state we update the user reducer
Hmm.
with data, and data is all the information which we get it.
Right.
So this is how we saved in the state. So now if I go from one page to another, I can use this user reducer data to get the information of the user.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So we will not talk with the Firebase directly. We will
Oh,
only
okay.
use
Okay.
this
Okay.
one
Ah.
information. And if this information is present, that means user is logged in, and we can make our call and do anything.
Ah.
And
Okay.
we
So we
will
don't have to poke Firebase every
right.
time. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it.
Firebase
Now I get it. Hmm.
right. Firebase only will be on the page load, and once page is loaded, we will have this information, and it will pass information from one page to another.
Right. Got it. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so now let's start to the sign out part.
Hmm.
Right now, I will go into login. Let's put BR tag now because it is
Yeah.
clear. Later on, we will put. We will do Fire Facebook also after some time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for now Google is okay. Hmm.
Right, and we should also have one sign out link.
Hmm.
Sorry,
This dot
sign out.
and
Oh,
out dot
one.
bind this.
So when the sign out will open, I have to create one function,
Hmm.
and there I need to see their documentation, what they
Hmm.
call for the sign out. Let's see. Let's see what they call. This is with email and password.
Hmm.
I don't see it here. There is something for sign out.
Hmm.
We need to find out that thing. I don't see here. Let me see in my, I have my own documentation.
Hmm.
Let me see there if I can get. We have to find out. It's there only. I
No
don't have
problem.
time to
Hmm.
find out. I will just use in my notes. I have it. I will use that
Yeah,
one.
we can do it next time. Yeah.
No, I have it in my notes.
Oh, you have it saved. Okay.
Yeah. Only thing I was showing you how to
Find that
from there.
information.
Yeah. Otherwise, I will find out and I will see where exactly it is. So we need
Hmm.
to go to their website and find out where exactly it is.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I have this information saved. So I will save file app.auth similarly, which we did here,
Hmm.
and then I will say dot sign out,
Hmm.
or then the function will be same.
Hmm.
Results will not be there. Sign out and
Hmm.
say curly bracket, round brackets, semicolon. Okay, so when I sign out, I will be inside this function,
Hmm.
and I'll just say log and logged out.
Hmm.
So this one will be specifically called when I click this sign out button. But when I click this sign out button, it will also trigger in the index.js this part. This part it will call without user information. So we will
Right.
go. So whenever we do sign out or whenever we page load, this part is always called.
Called.
Let's check it.
Even when we do sign out, okay.
Yeah. So whenever we do sign in, sign out, it always takes that one. Okay. Now we have logout page, login page. I will click sign out. So you will see this is I am calling. This I am calling here.
I'm logged out. Yeah.
Login. I am calling this. I am logged out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
User
is empty. This user is null.
Yeah.
And then we are putting this one. User is not logged in.
Okay. Yeah.
But whenever we get this information, we will also trigger logout or logout function.
Right.
So that we should empty the our state. Empty the state. This logout will call this user action this. It will call this signed out. It will call user signed out, and it will update the data with the null value. So refresh and I'll slide. So since it is logged out,
Right.
it's calling the information here, and it is data becomes null.
Okay.
If I click Google,
We'll go. Yeah.
so it is now signed in, and I get this data with information.
Right. Yeah.
Even if I refresh the page now,
The information.
it will go and get from the Firebase, and it will then store in my state. This all way, this error is in the navigation. We have hashtag which we have to.
Oh yeah. Those are warnings. Yeah.
This Firebase database we are calling in the index.js. Not using it, so let's not call it.
Okay.
So this part will go away because of that one.
Okay.
Okay, let's refresh it again. So we don't have
that. Yeah.
Now always I have this user reducer with data of the logged in users.
Name, email and all. Yeah.
Right. So we don't have to, so every page wherever we go, or whether with the refresh or where we go from the navigation from one to another one, we
data
have
is stored.
We have the information in the state, so we can use it anytime we want it.
Okay. So if you go to login page right now on the website,
Login page.
Go there. Yeah. So maybe we'll do that later on, but we have to only allow user to log in by one of the accounts, right? The user can't log in by Google and Facebook at the same time.
If user click the Facebook, generally what happens, this navigation, maybe we can hide this page also when user logged in, unless user log out. So maybe logout will be here in this drop down. Sign out will be there somewhere here maybe.
Yeah.
Rest all will be here in this login page.
So unless until you are not signed, unless until signed out is not gray or is clickable, then you can't sign in.
Right, but we can give that facility also. You can, if you click Facebook, it will be automatically logged you in Facebook and log out from the.
We can do that as well. Yeah.
So either way we can do.
Okay.
So now login part is done. Now what is the use of login part? Why we did login part? Otherwise we cannot move ahead because everything will be tied to the user.
Yeah.
Able to create put donation, and when we make the messaging chat, one-to-one chat application,
Then also it needs the
We need
authentication.
yeah,
Yeah.
we need one user who is talking to another one. So we will be
Right.
the chat application also.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a kind of small module in chat module here in the React with React
Okay.
with Firebase.
Chat
So
module. Okay.
it will be tied to React, but it's mainly Firebase.
Got it. Okay.
So maybe you can practice this login part now. Let
Yes.
me
Yes.
remove all the console.log. So it is clean, much clean kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's remove this console.log. Only the okay. Now let's refresh. Okay. So now I have only information which I can see is this one, and I'm not able to open this. Okay, so I have information here in this state. We can check this state here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Sure.
do this
Yeah.
login part today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll build this create part, and we will do the create and edit listing and all we will do in the next part.
Okay.
And then we will do search and result page, which is the important page, search and result, where
Right.
other people can come and search and result kind of thing.
Right.
And then we will be making the chat one so that one person can talk with another one so that they can
Yeah.
interact with each other. Let's
Hmm.
say food is there, but I don't know your address, so I can send the message to you, or I can email or phone, which we can
Contact. Yeah. Okay.
do that also.
Okay.